Jason Witten is leaving Monday Night Football. Former Cowboy tight end is going back to Dallas Cowboys to play. He is 36 years old. He still has great hands. He was a total security blanket for Dak's first year. ESPN cannot figure out their Monday Night Football booth. It continues to be a mess. And now it's a bigger mess. And Dak Prescott is going to get a security blanket back. This is a quote. Let me read this from Jason Witten. The fire inside of me to compete and play is just burning too strong. The team has a great group of rising young stars. I want to help them make a run at a championship. This was completely my decision. I'm very comfortable with it. I'm looking forward to getting back in the dirt. So Jason Witten tried broadcasting for a year. It was pretty rocky. And some guys, like Tony Romo walked in and he just nailed it. And I've heard a lot of players and coaches walk in and they struggle with it a little bit. So there you go. Jason Witten's going back to the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's great news for Dak. I think he's an incredibly formidable leader. He's probably going to be a 60-catch guy, a 50-catch guy. It's not about that. He's got great hands. You play a zone against the Dallas Cowboys, and Jason Witten finds an opening every time. Tight ends are valuable in this league. They're really, really valuable. Look at the kid George Kittle at San Francisco. We all know Gronk, Zach Ertz in Philadelphia. They just matter. Baltimore went and got 2 last year in the draft, and they were both really good. So John Lynch, the San Francisco 49ers general manager, will be joining us in a couple of minutes from the Combine. So there it is. Jason Witten is returning to the Dallas Cowboys, 36 years old, turns 37 by next season. I think this is let's be honest about this. If broadcasting was going great, he'd stay. I mean, there's nothing better than doing broadcasting when somebody pays you $5 million a year and you don't get hit, and everybody's telling you how smart you are, like Tony Romo. Tony Romo, everywhere he goes now, it's like he's getting better as a quarterback as he is a broadcaster because he's such a good broadcaster. And people when Tony Romo left football, everybody's like, couldn't win the big game. Now everybody loves Tony Romo. So when the broadcasting goes well, like it has for Troy Aikman or Tony Romo, it's a great job. If it doesn't go well and you're getting massive scrutiny, football's way more fun.
This is something. I don't know how you look coming off of a year off of football. That would be my concern. I mean, his leadership abilities obviously are not in question. That's fine.
He'll have good hands.
How he will actually play is something else altogether.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about how long he was he was off for a full year. Listen, when he left, Goulet, you're our resident Cowboy aficionado. You've watched every piece of grainy tape for the last 40 years. His last year, describe his last year as a Cowboy.
Well, it's not super athletic, but he's, like you said, he's good at finding open space, and he's sure-handed. So he's great for little 4-yard dump-offs over the middle. He's still a really intelligent player. I think they honestly want him more for that. He's not going to have a 600-yard season. He's going to have 300 or 400 yards, but he's intelligent. He's a locker room guy. He's a captain. He'll help.
And this is more of an intangible move than it is an actual football move.
Yeah, Dallas is young. Zeke's young. Dak's young. Most of the defensive front's young. Their 2 great linebackers are young. Their best corner's young.
Even Amari Cooper, who's a veteran, is very young. He's like 24, 25 years old.
Yeah, so it's a very, very young team. And it matters. It's again, Jason Witten is probably not worth a point a game in the NFL. He may not be worth half a point. But can you envision Jason Witten coming back, elevating a young team, and making 2 or 3 big plays next year on third down for the Cowboys, like against the Giants, against the Eagles? Absolutely. And again, Jason Witten is returning to the Cowboys. Jettisons, Monday Night Football. They're once again trying to figure that out. The fire inside me, too strong. Team has a great group of rising young stars. I want to be part of it, make a run at a championship. Completely my decision. I'm very comfortable with it. Now, it should be noted, this is not the first time that he's not going to cost much. He's not going to cost much. That's good. And the other thing is, remember when Jason left for the booth? It was a go-either-way decision. Dallas didn't want him out. Dallas wanted him to stay because Dak was young. So this is not one of these things where it was your classic, he's too expensive, let's get rid of him. Dallas wanted to keep him. He decided it's time, and maybe some of it was Tony Romo was doing so well and having so much fun that Witten looked at it and thought, Yeah, I mean, and Tony Romo and Jason Witten are tight, and they were roommates. So in camp, they're roommates. So you could imagine Romo's telling Witten, hey, this is fun. You don't get hit. I get to golf a lot. I don't have to lift weights every day. I don't have to get up at 5 a.m., and I only work like 17 days a year.
And maybe it was too big of an opportunity to pass up.
Right. And remember, Aikman's a broadcaster on the number one team at Fox, and Romo's the number one guy at Cowboy on CBS, and Michael Irvin's kind of the biggest star on the NFL Network, and Witten took the biggest job on ESPN/ABC. So, like, Jerry gave him his blessing because Jerry kind of looked at it like, I kind of like him. Jerry wouldn't have been as happy if he went to a team. But Jerry was okay saying, it's good for my brand. It's good for the Cowboys. It's good for Cowboy Nation. Another Cowboy on Monday Night Football. How about that? Veteran leadership on a team that could use it. Most of their best players, Zeke, Dak, DeMarcus Lawrence, Jones the corner, Jalen Smith the Van Der Esch. If I listed their top 8 players, Tyron Smith and Zach Martin, Sean Lee, I'm not sure his future there, but they can use him. And the guy, zone coverage, he finds openings. If you man him up, you can shut him down. But you play a zone, and Jason Witten gets open. And is he going to have 400 yards this year? I can absolutely see that. They got their Amari now. They got Cole Beasley, their slot guy. They got their star running back. They have a young kid, Michael Gallup, they like. Tight end is kind of the weakest spot on their roster. Yeah, and they don't have a first-round pick. Now, they may take a tight. My guess is with the Cowboys, they take a tight end in the second round, and there's about 6, 2 at Iowa alone that are great. But Jason Witten's back. I don't think it's a bad move. I mean, if I was Jerry Jones today, I'd feel pretty good about it. Yeah, it proves once again that playing in the NFL is way easier than doing what I'm doing. Way easier. This thing right here is virtually impossible. Tackling guys, big deal. Fighting off Aaron Donald, come on, child's play. Jason Witten's a Cowboy again. This is another reminder that the Dallas Cowboys are much better run than people think. Okay? They bailed on Dez Bryant at the perfect time. They found Dak Prescott in the 4th round. They got all sorts of pushback for Amari Cooper in a first-round pick. Home run. They nailed the draft. Leighton Vander Esch, small town, Idaho. Who is this kid? They reached. Home run. They drafted linebacker from Notre Dame, Jalen Smith, who was hurt, and said, he's an unbelievable talent. We're just going to wait a year. He's not going to play. And everybody pushed back, and it was another draft home run. They had a Zeke controversy that was a mess, and they handled it pretty smartly. And oh, by the way, now they're bringing Jason Witten back. The weakness of the team, they are desperate at tight end. He's going to be a great leader, nice third down guy against a zone. I mean, this is once again proving the Dallas Cowboys know what they're doing. The New York Giants don't. Washington Redskins I can push back on. There's a lot of dysfunction in this league. Miami and Tampa. Historically, Cleveland, though, they have a GM that certainly knows talent. Cincinnati, Oakland. You can't put Dallas in that group. From drafting Dak in the 4th round, to bringing Witten back, to bailing on Dez at the perfect time, to making a gamble with Amari Cooper that's been a home run, to finding Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith, risky picks to a lot of people, and they have both. That's the best young linebacking duo in the NFL. And Chicago's got a good one, but that's about the best. So, this is a well-run organization. This is a well-run organization. You think Jerry and you think vanity and a lot of ego, and I don't see it. I know Charlotte, sharp as a tack. I don't know Steven, but if he's controlling the draft, they draft well. I mean, they draft well. They got a lockdown corner, an elite pass rusher, world-class center, left tackle, running back. They got all the things, and they got now a perimeter star, 2 stud linebackers. They have so many linebackers. They could keep Sean Lee or not, and he's terrific. So Jason Witten's coming back, another smart move. I think it's a smart move by the Cowboys.